Welcome to Vampire Radio!
Hola, 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 hola. You are listening to Vampire Radio here on the Vampire Radio Network. I am your hostess with the mostest, Shelly from Kelly. And of course, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, the podcast dog, Minnie the Moocher. And boy, is it hot. I got the AC on full blast, so if the audio is a little off, you're just going to have to deal with it. You know what's so hilarious? So I was out of town last week, as you know, and before that, the last episode that I had, I was talking about how I'm just having issues with my dang equipment over here. I sent one of my devices off to get fixed, which I'm like so paranoid about because right now I'm using it for this episode. And on top of it, I was like, dude, I do not have the time or the patience right now to try to mess with my, what is it called? The mixer, the sound mixer, and my laptop I have inside the house. Usually I have it here in the bat cave, but because I took it with me on my trip, everything's still half packed. I literally got back yesterday. I feel so crazy. We'll get into it in a second, but going back to this setting up for even recording today's episode, I was like, shoot, like I was super got caught up in my day, and like 7 o'clock was rolling around, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't have Vampire Radio. I got so mixed up with like all of this traveling and whatnot. So I was like, okay, I can make it easy. I can go in there and just do like a half-ass setup. At least it's the episode. So I was like, dude, I remember my old iRig, which I used for, it's a microphone, for my Martinez Girls Radio, and I believe Wake and Bake as well. I was using it, and it was gifted to me by the company that has it. Oh my gosh, I can't at the top of my head remember what their name is. IK Media, I think it is. Something like that. I'll definitely tag them in this episode in the description below. But they saw that I was podcasting. I don't even know how they even followed me or I followed them. It's a mystery to me. But what I do know is they took me serious, and they were so nice, and they saw that I was just this girl trying. And this was early 2000s, by the way. So it was before how podcasts and people having microphones for their videos on YouTube, for example, how that really wasn't a thing for a while. So I was really super into it because, I've said it a million times here on Vampire Radio, I have such a love for broadcasting, and even though I didn't go to school for it or anything like that, I've studied it on my own in the sense of tuning into it, looking things up on the internet about it, watching videos about it. Like, I'm so into it, and it kind of blends into the content creating I make, because a lot of radio that I've enjoyed growing up into this day is talk radio. I love when talk radio can incorporate music. Let's go ahead and bitch again about how I'm pissed about the AMP app closing down. But that was my favorite, but I really do enjoy a good morning show. Like, that really hits for me because I've been an early riser for well over a decade, for a really long time, almost my whole life, almost. But so for me, morning radio shows really set the vibe for my day, you know? And that energy that went into it. And I was really entertained by it, so much so I was inspired by it. I talked about this before a couple episodes back about when I used to listen to Kevin and Bean, and that's where I discovered Ralph Garman, and totally just to this day inspired by Ralph Garman. And that was my show. That was my show for the longest time, was the Kevin and Bean show. And Jimmy Kimmel used to be on it. Adam Carolla used to be on it. So people who went on into do bigger things than radio. I mean, hello, especially Jimmy Kimmel. He has his whole show. But that's the thing. And then I got into Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. I think I got into them, oh, geez, what year was it? It was early 2000s, but not like, I almost want to say 2008, maybe 9, somewhere around there. Loved it. And then it was such a treat for me when they went over to KLOS, which I've talked about on here before, but I'm just doing a recap. Because I grew up listening to KLOS. KLOS is the local in SoCal classic rock channel. And they always had Mark and Brian. And growing up, my dad used to listen to Mark and Brian. So then Mark and Brian was in my life. But on my own time, I never sought out Mark and Brian. But I was always, even as a kid, not really understanding exactly everything they're talking about, enjoyed Mark and Brian. So anyways, this is the biggest, longest winded, went down the rabbit hole, because this is what I'm telling you. I'm trying to let you guys know, in case you don't know, or to remind you, that I have such a passion for broadcasting, talk shows, the whole nine, okay? So that's why when I started podcasting in 2009, it really set my soul on fire. And because of life, I've been in and out of podcasting and this and that and the other. So that's why it means so much to me, is what my point is. So anyways, this company, I believe they're IK Media. I hope that's right. They believed in me, damn it. I was going to say, dang it, damn it, damn it. They believed in me. And they would send me awesome microphones for like that were was able to plug into my phone to make it really easy. There was a time that I was using my Samsung Galaxy Tab. I used to use that. Oh my gosh, when I used to use my Samsung Galaxy Tab for podcasting, whether it was myself or me and Danielle, we would take it out and about. Like we would go see concerts and shows or like whatever, and I'd have it and I'd bust it out. I'd be like, hey, can I interview you? Oh, I gotta see if I can recover any of those. Oh my goodness, it'd be so cool. There were so many cool interviews that I got just on the fly because I had my dang Galaxy tablet in my purse with the microphone, and I was able to get these really cool moments. Oh, it was so awesome. And it's because of this company. I'm gonna double check. Hold on a second. Okay, it's IK Oops, I already messed it up. Oh my goodness. IK Multimedia. So I almost had it. I forgot the multi. And they have a lot of really cool stuff over there. They're not so much with if you want to do a podcast, they're more about instruments and things like that. But they do have stuff if you want to have a microphone for something like a podcast or just your phone or your tablet or whatever. So go check them out. Go check them out. I'll list all of their stuff below. You have to check it out. And if you're just listening to this, hold on. They make it nice and simple for you. ikmultimedia.com. Go to ikmultimedia.com and check out what they got. If you're looking for some audio stuff, they got a lot of really cool things. Even if you're not, and you're just interested because I'm over here talking about how they totally believed in me. Anyways, so this dang microphone, my iRig, I used it for my Betty Bong Pulsar review for the Smokeout Patreon. And it's for free, so go over there. Patreon.com/Shelly SJ Smokeout. If you just go to ShellySJSmokeout.com, it's all there. Blah, blah, blah. I say it every time, and you're going to hear it every time. That's just it. So I used it for that because I can plug it into my fancy camera, which is my Panasonic camera. It's really, really fancy, and I've had that for a while too, but it's really good. And I love that I can plug it into it. And I didn't have a mic stand for it, so what I did that day was I taped it onto one of my mic stands, and when I was thinking about recording today's show, I was like, dude, I got that iRig. It's going to be easy. Just go in there and bust it out and then put it all together, put it up, boom. Wednesday. I said Wednesday. It's later in the evening Wednesday, but Wednesday nonetheless, right? So I made a cute little post on Twitter and on my Instagram story saying how when in doubt, tape it out. And I took a picture of the stand and I said, I'm making it work. And it's so funny because I don't know if I've talked about this yet since I've moved Vampire Radio to Podbean and then started to re-upload everything or whatever. I don't know if I've talked about it yet. I don't think I have, but I've definitely talked about it when I was doing Amp App. So that's why I'm kind of thrown off with my timeline. But long story short as I can make it, I was at this place called the Roosevelt Hotel, which is in Hollywood, and it's a historic hotel. If you're into history, it's supposedly haunted. It's really, really beautiful. It's infamous. Go check it out. The Roosevelt Hotel on Hollywood Boulevard. And it's a gorgeous hotel. Oh my goodness. I've done photo shoots there. I've done photo shoots for the Secret Society there. And I'm going to go back. I'm like, dude, I have to go back and shoot at the Roosevelt Hotel for the Secret Society because I just need to. It's been way too long. I just hate going to that part of Hollywood. It sucks. It was a dump when I lived in Hollywood, and that was so long ago, and it's worse now. And so it's one of those things, it's like you got to just know where you're going and just go there and beeline it because you don't want to get your vibe dragged down. But anyways, over there at the Roosevelt, I was meeting up with my friend Kevin Gill. You may know him in the wrestling world. Shout out to Kevin Gill. Danielle and I, we were living in Hollywood, and we lived in walking distance of where the Roosevelt Hotel was. So we went down there and met with him, and he had two of his friends with him, Zach and Steve, and they were coworkers of his, and they were all there because of a work-related thing. And so work was done. It was time to relax and have a good time. So we went down there to have some drinks with them, and Dennis Rodman was there. And I casually know Dennis Rodman because I'm a Black Flies model. Need I say more? And if you don't know, kayfabe. So I casually know him, whatever. And so we go and we're sitting there, and he was on one, brother. He was so drunk, and we were all smoking. So he was medicated and drinking. We were all drinking, but he was just like, but he had, no offense, I'm just telling you my experience, he had a lot of dudes. It was like me and Danielle were the only girls there. It was all dudes. And to me, that's normal because that's usually the case, especially that time in my life. I'm always, in wrestling, I was always around dudes mainly. So whatever, it's fine. I didn't think twice. But what I didn't realize is Dennis Rodman was trying to get my attention. And I was so intrigued by Kevin's friends because they work in the video game world. So I was like very intrigued with what they were doing, and they were really cool dudes. And I was just like, paying attention to them, not really Dennis Rodman. And so he got really weird. And so when he was explaining things, when I was sitting next to Steve, and I really was enjoying the company with Steve, and it wasn't anything sexual because both guys were married. It wasn't like that at all. It was totally, hey, we're Kevin's friends. Like, it was just genuine, like people just talking, and enjoying each other's company. It was nothing weird. And so I emphasize that not just because like that's the truth, but where my energy was not like, oh, I'm giving this guy so much attention. It wasn't that. It was, he was interesting, and he's friends with my friend, and I wanted to know more about his work and stuff. So Dennis Rodman was getting jealous of Steve, and so he started calling Steve person. He's like, hey, person. He just kept calling him person. And so when he was telling his stories, because all these dudes were on his jock, and it's fine. It's Dennis Rodman. It's a bunch of dudes. Be on his jock. It's fine. I wasn't. And like I said, I had been around him before, so it was no big deal. And not only that, like I've seen him at conventions too. Like, so I've seen him in a work setting, and then I've seen him being wrapped up in the Black Flies model world. So I was just like, whatever, Dennis Rodman, okay. And then he was explaining things, and when he would talk, you couldn't really understand what he was saying. So that's another reason why I didn't care to pay attention, because it was hard to understand him. Because when he was literally talking, he kept the couple things you could make out was he would say, making it work and touche. So he would be saying a story and making a point about something, and he'd be like, more this up, and then like, and then making it work, and then touche. And so Zach goes, and when he was doing it, he was doing a gesture, two different gestures with his hands. With his hands, oh my god. Okay, so something just hit me. Kayfabe to the max. But anyways, so there was two different hand gestures, and then Zach was like, I noticed that you keep saying making it work, and he did the hand gesture, and he said, and touche. And then Dennis Rodman explained to us how they're also interchangeable. Sometimes the hand gesture that consistently seems to be the making it work one, he might mix it up and do the touche hand gesture when he's saying making it work. So as a joke, because I gotta always, it's all about the jokes in life, I said in that post about me taping up my iRig, I'm making it work. And I'm so glad that Twitter allowed me to put a GIF along with my photo of Dennis Rodman. And in that post, you guys, if you want to see what I'm talking about, he does some of those hand gestures in that GIF. So I posted on my Snapchat, or excuse me, I will be posting on my Snapchat story, but I posted on my Instagram story, and it's on my Twitter. Kevin used to do commentary at Hood Slam. It was really good. He does commentary for a lot of different wrestling, not just wrestling shows, but like events and things like that. And when he would announce me and I'd go to the ring, he'd be like, here comes Fun Time Shelly making it work all day long. And I would do the hand gesture. No one knew what we're talking about. Oh my gosh, I lost touch with Kevin, Steve, and Zach, but wherever they are, I'm sending them nothing but positive vibes. And we will always have that night with Dennis Rodman at the Roosevelt. Long live, making it work, touche. And here's the thing, after that had happened, I did a signing. I want to say it was Wrestle Reunion in LA, or when it was in Miami. I always get those two mixed up. I don't know why. But it was one of the two, and he was there, and I took a picture with him. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll post it in the show description. And I'm doing one of the hand gestures. He also told me that I reminded him of Carmen Electra, and he's not the first person that's dated her to tell me that. And I will take that all day long because she is a beautiful woman. And my goodness, she still looks really, really good. Carmen Electra, wherever you're at, sending you positive vibes, girl. Thanks for giving me inspiration that I need to continue on my journey of getting back to fit Shelly, because Carmen Electra looks that damn good. And she's about maybe, 10 years older than me, something like that. She's like, gosh, it looks great. So as I mentioned before, I was gone for about a week. And it was really crazy because the whole experience I had there was very on brand to what's been going on in my personal life and been telling you guys about, just going through it. But then now I'm in a phase where the things that I've been going through and I didn't understand the whole story or didn't have all my facts straight, whatever. I have now gotten my facts straight about certain things that I've been dealing with for months. Likewise with this whole trip to Iowa. The trip to Iowa really showed me answers to so many questions that I've had and made sense of so much. And I don't know if you saw, I post a YouTube video and then I post a part 1 on my Instagram and TikTok. I was really like in the mix of figuring all that out when I made that video. That's why I was like, dude, I'm going to do one of those videos. I don't care. Like, who cares if my makeup's not on yet? I'll just do one of those get ready with me while this is what's on my mind kind of thing. So that's what I did. And then it's like after all of that, more information came my way and understanding situations and other people more. But it was so draining. Like, it's so cool when you can go through that. But oh my gosh, people, let me tell you, I've been going through that at a fast rate. Like, the amount of information that I've been given, or seeing people for who they truly are, or finding out things that I second guess myself, like, that is that really true? Or maybe I'm just a bitch and like I'm looking at this and that and the other, but then getting proof that no, I was right about XYZ. Oh my gosh, it's so much. It's great because it helps me feel like I'm not totally psychotic. But when you find out things that maybe are not so pretty, and that's why a lot of toxic things or behaviors or people are an issue in my life right now, it's like shocking. And to be honest, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but traumatizing. I cannot tell you how traumatizing finding out so many truths in so many different ways in the last few months has gotten me. Like, but it's good in the sense where I can move forward because, as I've said before, and I'll always say, as long as I know what I'm working with, I can work with it. But if something doesn't make sense or it's not piecing together right because I don't have that information or whatever, that's where I get stuck and I get really just stuck in a bad place. But once that damn information starts floating my way, float, I'm able to have peace with a lot of different things I've been struggling with. But it's a lot to take, especially when it's a lot of gnarliness all at once. But that's life, and I'm glad. You know what it is it's been so rough since end of February, early March for me. So it feels good to at least get a lot of that weight off of my shoulders. But it's a lot, dude. And then on top of it, being in the midst of all of it while traveling and having to be around other people, oh my goodness, it was a lot. But it was also a lot of adventures and memories and growth, not just for me, but for the other people that I was with. And that's where the beauty truly lies in all of it. You know, when I think back about all the whole trip, it seems like it was just a dream, and that trips me out. Like, can you guys relate to that? Have you ever maybe gone away or whatever? And it's crazy because I used to feel this way when I was in wrestling, because I would be gone typically sometimes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come home Monday. So that's a lot of the week. You know, sometimes it wasn't as bad. Maybe it was just to leave a Friday, come back Sunday, but not always. But the point is I would I would leave my home and go to other places and sleep not in my bed. And so there's this weird thing that happens that when I come back home, it feels like I have to kind of get reacquainted with my house. Does that make any sense? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. So when I was full time doing the wrestling, I would experience that a lot. And that's when I would when I would be marinating at home and getting reacquainted with the house and the energy. A lot of times it was moments of me figuring things out or having some sort of movement forward or growing in life, understanding things a little bit better, maybe giving me peace. Because I used to have really bad sleep issues, and total insomnia. And I noticed that the more I began to let things go, heal, move forward, however you want to say it, I sleep better, and it's easier for me to fall asleep. It's easier for me to, now don't get me wrong, I still toss her and turn her, but the point is now that fast forward to from my wrestling days and having that feeling, being in the where I am in my life right now, and then I went away for a week. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I went away from home for a week. It changed me for better. And part of Iowa helped heal me, and I'm really grateful for that. So I know earlier I went down that damn rabbit hole about how much I love broadcasting, aka that's why I take my podcasting to heart and things of that nature. So I don't know if you saw on Twitter earlier today. I've been tweeting up a storm. Stoner Jesus, I woke up this morning and it felt good to wake up in my own bed because, like I said, I got home yesterday. And Stoner Jesus is on my timeline retweeting TMZ saying to the Hawk 2 girl, calling her out for ignoring me. I guess Jake Paul or Logan Paul, what is it? Jake Paul, yeah. He signed her to his team, I guess. I don't know. Does Jake Paul have a management team or I don't know. She signed something that belongs to Jake Paul, probably her soul, and she's going to be doing podcasting now. Isn't that interesting? Now she's going to go and be a podcaster. It'll be interesting to find out because I know I won't be listening. I'll just leave it to Stoner Jesus to keep me in the know. I'm not going to waste my time. But it'll be interesting to see where she goes with that. Okay, Miss Hawk 2, little industry plant. So now you're handed this opportunity that most people don't get. Call me a hater, that's fine, I don't care. If that makes me a hater, that it bothers me, then so be it. I'm offended. That's what it is. So, but here's the thing, I'm not a person that's going to be over there signing away to Jake Paul, so that's the difference between me and Hawk 2, and that's also the difference why she's going to be given a bigger platform and make money even if she sucks at it for at least a little while. So it'll be interesting to see what she does with that. Maybe she's an excellent podcaster, and maybe she's going to be really good at it. We'll see. But I'm interested in seeing what is she going to talk about. Because one of the things I said was, I forgot how I worded it, but I was pretty much saying how it's annoying that, like, back in my day, okay, I'll tell you exactly what I said. I just pulled it up. I miss the days where you had to have talent or bring something special to the table to be involved in the entertainment business. And I stand by that because here's the thing. Jake Paul, douche as he may be, when I heard that he was going to be joining WWE, I was like, dude, that makes total sense. That makes total sense that Jake Paul is over there signing with WWE. And I knew he was going to end up being a really good wrestler. I don't know how good he is. I've seen highlights, I guess, or whatever, or things online. And he moves better than some people that have been doing wrestling for a really long time. I said some. And I knew that would be the case because I knew he'd put the work in. So even though we can hate him all we want, Jake Paul is somebody who can bring something to the table. And he brings a lot of things to the table, actually. This gal, maybe she does. Maybe Hawk 2 girl brings a lot of different things to the table. I've just yet to see it. All it seems like is she is just riding the wave of being this persona of Hawk 2. And so I want to know what she's going to, what, maybe she has something else to bring to the table. Maybe she's a really good podcaster. Maybe she's, I don't know. She just seems like she's just riding the wave of Hawk 2. And like I saw on Snapchat, there was something where the crowd was really quiet when she got introduced. So people aren't buying it. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Stoner Jesus is going to keep tabs and will let us know. But yeah, dude, I'm real offended. I'm real offended. All right, you guys. I'm going to be tapping out because I do not want to put this up late tonight. But I want to thank you for joining me for another lovely edition of Vampire Radio. I hope you had a fantastic time. I know I did. And hey, don't forget to go over to ShellySJSmokeout.com for all the haps on what's going on with the Smokeout. Some new content is going to be dropping soon on the Patreon. And of course, check out ShellyMartinez.net for all of my stuff. I'm going to be doing some live streams here soon, so pay attention. And if you want to know all the links for all the things I got going on, just go to ShellyMartinez.net/links, and they're all there nice and organized for you. Well, until next week, I'm Shelly from Kelly. She's the podcast dog, Minnie the Moocher, and we'll be smelling all of you later. Adios.
Hurry back, and remember to bring your death certificates. Hurry back.
You a little bit nervous today?
Feel great.